All right, welcome back to the Battlefield Live with Chris and Trey on We Are America Radio, Red State Talk Radio, and Battlefield Buzz, the Buzz Radio Network. Our guest right now is Trevor Loudon, and Trevor is going to, we're going to talk with him a little bit. He's got a new project right now that's really exciting. Chris and I both had an opportunity to hear Trevor speak here in the United States previously, and we used a lot of his research in our book, Deus Ex Machina, The Machine. And so it gives me great pleasure to welcome Trevor Loudon. Trevor, welcome to the program.
Hi, great to meet you, Trey. It's good to see you again. Thanks for having me on.
Well, Trevor, let's talk a little bit about, we're here at CPAC, and we, as conservatives, as constitutional, I don't even like using the word conservatives really, but as constitutionalists, we have the opportunity for the first time in 50 years to nominate a guy in one of the two major parties that is a strict constitutionalist for President of the United States. Can you figure out, in all of your wisdom, why are we even discussing nominating a liberal Democrat as the Republican nominee?
Yeah, look, it's a mystery to me, well, no, it's not a mystery, but the thing that's disappointed me most is large numbers of conservative Christians are supporting Donald Trump. And I thought it would have been an absolute no-brainer that Ted Cruz would get the majority of that vote. And all I can say is I think it's just voting on emotion, on anger, on frustration. And we all can understand that. See, Obama has done huge damage to this country. Trump is a reaction to that. Cruz is a reaction to that. Trump is an angry, let's get revenge, let's just make things happen type of reaction. Cruz is a balanced, measured, committed reaction to that. Cruz can be relied on to carry through on what he promises. So I think the anger has to subside, because I'd like anybody to tell me when they made their last best good decision while they were angry. Right. How often does that happen?
Right.
Very seldom. So we've got, as you say, we've got a chance, a once-in-a-lifetime chance to elect a real constitutional conservative who do what he says he'll do. He's the only one competitive with Donald Trump right now, and we've got to back him to the hilt, because our children will not thank us if we blow this great opportunity.
We're here with Trevor Loudon today on the Battlefield Live radio program with Chris and Trey. Last time Glenn Beck closed out this event, he kind of put progressivism back on the map, if you will. But whether you're talking about communism, socialism, democratic socialism, liberalism, it's all like 50 shades of Marxism.
Yeah, the difference between democratic socialism and communism is about 5 years. That's all it is. It's just a stage along the way. The word progressive was invented as a euphemism for communism. So all these progressive Democrats, that is what they are. They are communists. They don't come out and tell you that, just like Bernie Sanders doesn't come out and tell you he is a communist, but he surely is. He's as much of a communist as Fidel Castro or Daniel Ortega or Hugo Chavez. So, but the thing is, you get control of the language. You make euphemisms. You call communism progressivism or liberalism or democratic socialism. But they are all the same thing. It's just a matter of time. Democratic socialism leads to full-on socialism, which leads to communism. As sure as getting a little bit of cancer leads to more cancer, leads to terminal cancer. It's an inevitable progression unless it's cut out, excised, surgically removed, and the patient is restored to health.
Now, if we look back at history and we think about Joe McCarthy and the work that was done, demonized, good, bad, indifferent, we'll save that debate for another day. But do you think we'll ever get to a place where the federal government seeks to find and uproot communists within our government? And if they did, would we even have a government left?
Well, that's a good question. You wouldn't have much of a Democratic Party left, that's for sure.
Right.
And there'd be a few Republicans who would have to stand down as well. But look, I say this. I think it's going to come through Islam, in that we are going to have security hearings in this country. We're going to have a crackdown on security because radical Islam is going to do some crazy things and kill people, and the next government is going to have to do something about it. You go into radical Islam, you will find communism because they are working together hand in glove. So I say this. You think about it. If you are a low-level government employee in this country, say you work for the post office or agriculture department or whatever, you need an FBI security clearance to do your job.
Right.
And they can be very extensive. They can go through your underwear drawers, check out your family background, your overseas trips, your criminal convictions, drug habits, whatever.
Now, don't be personal now.
Okay. But if you get if you hang around with the local Communist Party, and they control the local unions and the local Democrats, and they get you elected to Congress posing as a Democrat, you can serve on the Homeland Security Committee, the Armed Services Committee, the Science and Technology Committee, the Judiciary Committee, even the Intelligence Committee. And Andre Carson, the jihadist, has just been put on the Intelligence Committee. You can serve on any of those committees you like, get all sorts of sensitive information, steer public policy in the directions favourable to your enemies, and there's virtually no security checks. Nothing. If you were a foreign intelligence officer up in the United Nations, say from North Korea or Iran or China or Russia or Cuba, do you think you would ignore that massive hole in America's national security?
No, that's an open it's an open garage. You park your car in it.
It's an open door. We say there's at least 100 members of your House and 20 members of your Senate who are so involved in neo-communism or Marxism or jihadism or even some cases all three that they would not pass a basic FBI security check to work in the post office. They would not be allowed to clean the toilets at any military base in this country. And neither would your president, by the way. So this is what our movie is about. We're doing a documentary movie, The Enemies Within, exposing the Marxists in your Congress. And the tagline is, would your congressman pass an FBI security check?
That's a heck of a hashtag right there, right?
Yeah, well, but it's a very valid question, and nobody's asking this.
Let me ask you this. You bringing up the issue about The Enemies Within, the new documentary that's coming out based off of your book, phenomenal book. If you get a chance, pick it up, The Enemies Within. If the Democrat Party has shifted to basically full-blown socialism and communism, and the Republican Party has shifted to be the Democrat-light party, if you will, where is there in the political spectrum? Is conservatism being ousted from the two-party system? Do you see the emergence of a new third party similar to the Whig? Or where do you see, does the GOP survive a Trump nomination?
Well, that's a very interesting question. The communists have a saying, yesterday's left is today's centre. Tomorrow's centre will be today. Tomorrow's left will be today. Today's left will be tomorrow's centre. They are moving the whole political spectrum across to the left. So what is conservative today would have been Liberal Democrat 30 years ago.
Right.
So I say this, the Democratic Party is gone. You know, this is not the party of JFK or Harry Truman anymore. And all those loyal Democrats who love their country and belong to the NRA and support the Constitution, they have to understand their party has been stolen from them. Not criticising them, I'm criticising the thieves who stole their party.
Yeah, they're party leaders.
They're party leaders. You know, because we know that these people are just as loyal as anybody.
But they don't get a pass for the ignorance of not knowing what's been being done to them.
Well, you know, they've been scammed, and we've got to have sympathy for people who have been scammed.
Okay, a little compassion.
Okay. But this is it. This is how I see the Republican Party. The Republican Party is a third progressives and big government guys. It's a third go-alongs to get-alongs, and it's a third patriots and constitutionalists. We have one chance left to save the GOP, and that is by backing the Ted Cruz faction, the people like Louis Gohmert, Ted Cruz, Tom Cotton, the real constitutionalists who are remaining within the party. If we can elect those guys, if Ted Cruz is the next president, he can appoint a good cabinet, have a conservative leadership in the House and the Senate behind him, we will transform the country and save the GOP. If we do not do that, if we elect a Donald Trump or something, the GOP is gone. But the thing is this, I don't think there'll be a successor to the GOP because one thing, I think we've got one election left because this is what the left are going to do. If we lose this election, they're going to keep the southern borders open. They're going to bring hundreds of thousands of Muslim immigrants from the Middle East, 90% who will vote Democrat. 80 to 90% of the illegals will vote Democrat. They will have 8, 10, 12, 20, 30 million more Democratic Party votes. Mitt Romney lost the last presidential election by 2.5 million. Do the math. See what the result of that's going to be. If the Democrats win this election, their intention is to never have another meaningful election in this country. They will be a one-party state, and they'll do it on their backs of illegal immigration. I ask a simple question. If 90% of the illegals in this country were given citizenship and voted Republican, how long do you think it would be before Barack Obama had the biggest fence on the border you have ever seen?
That's right.
So this is all about voting. This is all about creating a one-party state. And we've got proof of this in my film. We've got proof of it in my book. Eliseo Medina, the man who basically advises Obama on immigration policy, and a Marxist, the man who got the amnesty bill pushed through the Senate, top man in SEIU, the leader of the movement. I've got him on tape saying this. Amnesty is a number one priority. If we get this, we will get 8 million more Democratic Party votes. We will be the permanent governing majority of this country. That is why they're doing it. You think Obama granted amnesty on the verge of the last election, knowing it would probably cost him the Senate. He didn't care because Obama is a Leninist. One step backwards to get 2 steps forward. He gave up a couple of seats in the Senate, gave up control of the Senate because he got 5 million new Democratic Party voters. Which do you think he cares about more in the long run?
It's a long-term vision, that's for sure. Tell us, before we let you go, tell us a little bit about the documentary. It looks like it's coming out in May.
It's coming out in May. It's going to be a full-length feature video documentary, Hollywood quality. It'll be dealing with the Marxist, neo-communist infiltration of Congress, the traitors serving on the Armed Services Committee, the Homeland Security Committee, the Intelligence Committee, the people you pay their salary every day, who swear to uphold the Constitution, who are working with enemies of the United States to trash your country every single day, and you see them on TV every night, but you have never seen what we are going to show you about them.
Tell our listeners about your website and social media. How can they follow you?
Okay, go to trevorloudon.com, Trevor, Loudon is Loudon, trevorloudon.com. Go to my daily website. You can go to Facebook from there, etc. But there's a little icon on the side of the page. Fund this movie. We've got 80% of the funding for the movie now. We want that last 20%. Please go to that icon, click on it, put in $20, $10, $30, whatever you can. Every little bit helps. Invest in the movie because this movie is going to blow the lid off the political culture in this country.
One of the most important projects for sure to be done here in the United States, especially to get into the culture and get a message to those who may be unaware of what's happening around them and ultimately to their peril. So thank you, Trevor, for being here today.
Great to be on, Trey. We'll have to catch up again and come down and have some gumbo with you sometime.
Absolutely. Trevor Loudon, thank you so much. That was Trevor Loudon. We're going to take a quick break and be back after this quick timeout. Don't go anywhere.
Thanks for the book.